Well, I spent the entire day organizing this room yesterday, so I figured I would give you a tour. As you can see from a long shot out, it's a very small room. Our whole water system is over there, so I'm trying to make shelving units around it, plus the cat box is in here, so it's a whole thing. I could probably get a smaller cat box now that we're down to one cat, but that's for a different show. Okay, so before, this was just kind of stuck in cloth bins, so I wanted to organize everything. So here is everything to do with Christmas crafting. Ribbon and plastic flowers, and you can see up here some fake ornaments and boxes and gifts and stuff like that. I also have, stuff to make wreaths, lots and lots of ribbon. I've got summer and spring ribbon up there. And you can see there's one sitting on top, and that's not because there's not room in there. It's just because as I find things, as I organize, I set them there, and then later I'll come back and tuck them in. Now here's my fall decorating for fall wreaths, fall door hangings, stuff like that. There's some fall ribbon. So that is pretty much my holiday and seasonal shelf. Okay, now down to the next shelf. So I've got beads and jewelry. This is old-fashioned costume jewelry or actual beads that I use to make all sorts of things like those sun catchers and stuff like that I was doing. Here's a box of clothespins. As I go to thrift stores and Goodwill and all that stuff, I pick them up and I put them in here because you never know when you're going to need them. Next here, I have a thing of zip ties. I'm considering moving this to my tool cabinet because they're kind of a tool to me. Here I have all things quilling. So it was in a couple different containers. I actually condensed it all down into one and put it here. You see that I wrote on these with a permanent marker. I'm going to get labels to put on. I just didn't have them with me at the moment, so I did that. Okay. Here's all things paint. There's also paint brushes in here, all sorts of different kinds of paints. Again, as I find them this was a thrift store, these were thrift stores. I save them because for a lot of crafting, like rock painting, you don't need brand new paint. You can use that. Next shelf here, these are all papers and paper crafts. So construction paper, letterhead. This is actually quotations that I took from a book, and I'm saving them in case I do greeting cards, which I am going to do. So I'm going to take that and move that over here. Hold on one second. Ouch. I had to yell at my dog. Okay. So down here are my favorite craft, tongue-in-cheek that way, plastic canvas. And then I have a can of Mod Podge. Let me sit there. I didn't really have anywhere else to put these until the weather gets warmer. Then I'll put them outside in the shed. But for right now, that's my pumpkins. Here's a whole thing of bottle caps. I do have a video on how to make these into grapes. It's kind of cool. Here's feathers. I say feathers just in case. You never know. Here's a box full of crafting sticks, round sticks, popsicle sticks, notched sticks, all kinds of them. Again, you never know what kind of projects you're going to use. I forgot to show you this, all different kinds of styrofoam. Again, I save styrofoam because you never know when you're going to need it. So there it is. Down here is my Cricut mug maker, and there are the cups to go with it. And in this bin is a few miscellaneous crafts I didn't quite know what to do with. This one down here, everything to do with crayons, markers, pencils, pens, Sharpies, highlighters is in here. Here is some clay. I can move this up. Let's put this up here. So that's everything. It says shells because I got to relabel it, but it's all things to do with clay and modeling clay. Here's some crochet hooks, a whole a whole bin of them. I'm going to make sure I label them as well. But for right now, that's where they stay. Next row over are my books. Books, magazines, handouts, flyers, antique books. Those are going out because they're going to the fair. So this I still need to organize because this is not well-used space. So I'm going to reorganize this. In these drawers, little hot glue gun, stamps, ink stamps, more stamps. So that's where I put those. And then down here, I save these because you never know when you're going to need them. They're, tubes. All right, over to, now here's the things for wreaths. I have 2 different sizes and 2 different shapes in there. Now this whole shelf over here is to do with the fair. So everything over here is stuff I'm going to need for the fair. So up here are the shells and the hot glue gun that I'm going to use for them. This over here is everything to do with making cards and mixed media. So that's going to be day 5, I believe. This is day 1. These 2 boxes here are filled with these. Also for this is the magazines I'm collecting. And here are the items from nature. So as I collect them from the beach, from the forest, from the road, whatever, they go in there. And then I have to pull more of these out. Here's the rocks for the rock painting. I'm not moving them around much because as you can see, they're rocks and they're pretty heavy. So I try to leave them be. And then over here are the supplies for the rock painting. The table drop cloths, the kids' aprons, stuff like that. There's also paint brushes and stuff like that in there, some paint as well. And then the bottom row I use kind of for utilities for the house. This is to do with my Ring cameras, those 2, and then this are some of my command strips. And then over here, I have a shelf for miscellaneous. This is my shipping and receiving. This is more like tools and supplies, batteries, and cleaning supplies. So there you go. These are spare containers that I can use, and that's the charging station for all of my Ring cameras. So this is a very small room that we have a lot of uses for. This whole side of it here is a water filtering system. So it goes here to there, to there, to the hot water heater, and then into the house. So I'm trying to make as much use of this little room as possible. And also the cat boxes in there, which I'm going to downsize that because we have 1 cat instead of 6 like we used to. So there you go. There's craft room number 1. I'm going to wash the floor today, and that'll be that. So that was my Saturday, and hopefully it'll stay neat like that for as long as I need it because it's really easy to put my hands on things. All right, so thanks for taking the tour of my craft room, and we'll see you next time for the yarn stash.